Story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there, welcome to CoreTV Prime Time News, the weekend edition. I am Gift or Gete. In our major story, President slams Amaechi over comments on Jonathan and wife. Obasanjo warns on all Muslim and all Christian ticket. Ikuforiji declares intent to run for Lagos governorship. And outside Nigeria, United Kingdom ends Afghanistan's combat operations. Good to have you stay tuned with us. Now, details of the news headlines and other stories. The presidency has come down hard on Governor Rotimi Amaechi of Rivers State over some allegations he made against President Goodluck Jonathan and his wife Patience on Saturday at a mega rally of the All Progressives Congress in Port Harcourt. While speaking at the All Progressives Congress mega rally, Amaechi had, among other allegations, accused Jonathan of not implementing any project in the state, encouraging corruption and meddling in the state's internal affairs. But the presidency, in a statement by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Dr. Ruben Abati, described the allegations as false and baseless vituperations. Abati said the governor's unwarranted outburst was an indication that he had lost all sense of propriety, decorum, and responsible political behavior. He said Amaechi was peddling the falsehood in order to incite the people of the state and the country against his assumed political foes. Abati warned the governor that there are legal, constitutional, and moral limits to political rascality, beyond which he would not be allowed to go without repercussions. He says, notwithstanding the immunity he currently enjoys, a day of reckoning would come when Amaechi would answer for all his false allegations against the president, his wife, and the federal government. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has said it is dangerous for any party or a politician to toy with the idea of filing either a Muslim or Christian ticket, given the current happenings in the polity. In a statement issued in Abeokuta, Ogun State, he called for sensitivity and vigilance on the part of the leadership of all political parties. According to the former president, sensitivity is a necessary ingredient for enhancement of peace, security, and stability at this point in the political discourse, an arrangement for Nigeria and for encouraging confidence and trust. He explained that disregarding the fact that there were fears that needed to be alert at this point will amount to insensitivity of the highest order and a classic example of very bad politics. The nation's leading opposition party, the All Progressives Congress, will hold an extraordinary national convention on Wednesday, October 29, 2014 in Abuja to improve amendments to the constitution of the party and also adopt its manifesto for the 2015 general elections. In a statement issued in Lagos by its National Publicity Secretary Lai Mohammed, the party said the proposed amendment, when approved at the National Convention, will align the party's constitution better with the Electoral Act and also allow the APC to function more efficiently. It also said the convention will adopt the 6-point manifesto that has been extracted from the one the party submitted to INEC earlier for the purpose of the 2015 general elections. The manifesto to be adopted at the extraordinary convention, according to the statement, is specifically for the 2015 general elections because of shifting priorities. We do not believe that a party manifesto should be one for all time, but a document that will adjust to the changing needs of the people. The 6 broad priority area for the APC ahead of the 2015 general elections are national security, good governance, human capital development, economic development, land and natural resources, as well as foreign policy. The issue of job creation, fight against corruption, development of basic infrastructure, health, qualitative education, regular power supply, and others are subsumed under these broad priority areas. The party said once the manifesto has been adopted at this convention, it will be made massively available to all Nigerians, complete with the full details in many languages. Youths under the aegis of the Northern Youths Forum have donated the sum of 2 million naira to President Goodluck Jonathan to purchase his PDP nomination form for the 2015 presidential election. The coordinator of the forum, Bello Bichi, announced the donation at a rally in support of Jonathan's second-term ambition in Kaduna State. It says the decision to donate the money was born out of the forum's decision to support the re-election bid of the president under the platform of the PDP in 2015. Bichi reaffirmed the commitment of youths in the North to support President Jonathan's ambition for the second term due to what he termed as his commitment towards the transformation of Nigeria. He called on the president to redouble his efforts towards ensuring peace, unity, and development in the country. In his remarks, the Minister of Education, Ibrahim Shekaru, charged youths in the country to avoid acts capable of causing chaos during the forthcoming general elections in the country. He commended the youths for the gesture and assured them that the federal government will continue to come up with programs aimed at improving their socio-economic status. Also, in his remarks, the Minister of Youth Development, Boni Haruna, said the donation was a clear indication that Northern youths were in support of President Goodluck Jonathan's bid to recontest the presidency in 2015. The occasion was attended by prominent personalities, including Minister of Foreign Affairs Alhaji Aminu Wali and the Special Advisor to the President on Political Affairs, Professor Rafai Al-Khali, among others. A new poll conducted by NOI Polls shows that President Goodluck Jonathan has the overall best rating among all possible presidential hopefuls in the run-up to the 2015 elections. But the result that placed former head of state Muhammad Buhari way down the ladder has generated a lot of controversy, with many questioning how the survey was conducted. It is against this backdrop that CoreTV News' Pius Samuel went in search of the people behind NOI Polls.
It looks like a cyber cafe, and these people could be mistaken for online job seekers. But this is not the case. The people here are collecting information and collating data based on the opinions of Nigerians across the country. This is where the data that put President Jonathan ahead of governors Raji Fashola and Rochas Okorocha, as well as Muhammadu Buhari and Atiku Abubakar, were collated. So, the question is, what were the modalities used in arriving at the results?
To contest as a president in this country, there are two key factors that need to be considered. So, familiarity. Are you familiar? How well do the people know you? Do they know you? Secondly, What's your perception? How do people perceive you? Do they perceive you positively or do they perceive you negatively? Right, so this recent poll conducted, we cross-analyzed the familiarity and the net positive favorability. So we found that the president has a familiarity of 99% and a net favorability of 25 plus 25%, plus 25. This was followed by Babatunde Raji Fashola, who had plus 8 net favorability, and Rocha Sokocha, who had 0 net favorability.
To ensure a wider coverage area, the pollster also uses language experts, and on this day, they could be seen putting calls through to respondents in different languages on one survey or the other. To some Nigerians, NOI Polls is a political mouthpiece rather than a data-gathering outfit. They readily point to its links to Coordinating Minister for the Economy, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. The polling outfit will, however, prefer attention placed on its methodology and how its survey can help policymakers formulate policies based on the people's perception.
And our mission is to actively engage the public in using their opinions to support decision making. It's a platform where the voice of the ordinary man can be gotten and used to support decision making. So
the survey on possible presidential aspirants is the 5th conducted in recent times by NOI Polls. But how will the result that many have considered controversial benefit Nigerians ahead of the 2015 elections?
The left quadrant, which is low familiarity and low negative net favorability. So we have people like General Muhammad Buhari, people like Nasir El-Rufai, people like Rabiu Kwakwanso, Comrade Adams Oshomole, coming under this quadrant of high familiarity but low negative favorability. And it's left for their campaign teams to look at this and say, what can we do out of this? How can we craft strategy?
This survey by NOI Polls involves the random sampling of 1,000 people across all 6 geopolitical zones, and is just one of many polls that have of late been conducted by individuals and groups. And with only a few months to the 2015 polls, political analysts expect more as the election draw nearer. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Adeyemi Kufuoriji, says he will consolidate on the gains of the present administration if he becomes the next governor of the state in 2015. Kufuoriji made this promise while declaring his intention to contest for the governorship of the state on the platform of the All Progressives Congress. Abiola Oluwole was there. He filed in this report presented from our studios.
As the 2015 general election approaches, political gladiators in Lagos are strategizing to win the support of the party and eventually succeed the incumbent governor Babatunde Fashola. With recent declaration of a former accountant general of the state, Akinwumi Ambode, to clinch the ticket of the ruling APC setting the pace, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Adeyemi Kufuoriji, has followed suit with a promise to consolidate on the gains made since the beginning of the current democratic dispensation in 1999. According to Kufuoriji, his 10-point agenda is designed to further give Lagos a facelift.
Of good governance, standing leadership, and of mass excellence for which Lagos State has come to be known. To ensure that the greatest good generated in and attracted globally to Lagos is shareable among all Lagos.
Earlier, wife of the Speaker, Mayowa Ikufuruji, called on APC faithfuls to support the aspiration of her husband.
I am convinced that is another change agent. APC presenting to you, supporting, taking, getting there, and you will serve you. It's an experience you will never, ever regret.
As aspirant to cross party lines just to succeed Fashola as governor, the electorate will ultimately decide who becomes the next houseman of the most popular state in Nigeria and its economic nerve center.
As the 2015 general elections approaches and politicians change allegiances, some members of the All Progressives Congress in Ibejuleki faction are defected to the People's Democratic Party. The formal defection held at the community primary school Iberekodo Playground right in front of the All Progressives Congress Secretariat, from where Anita Fatunji filed in this report.
While receiving the decampees, a PDP stalwart in the area, Bode Oyebode, says the people of Lagos have resolved to change the government in the state for good.
People of Lagos are resolved to change this government for good in Lagos. Hence, you are seeing the wind of change blowing from Ibejuleki, and it will blow like that out to Badagry. I'm very sure by February 15, PDP government will rule in Lagos State. This is the beginning of it.
Oyebode says the PDP in Lagos is ready to produce the right candidate who will do better than what the present administration of Babatunde Fashola is doing as governor of Lagos State in 2015.
The PDP will surely bring what we call qualitative and realistic changes into Lagos. Let me tell you, let us be frank with ourselves. Governor Fashola has tried. He has done his own bits. But we are going to improve on what Fashola has done. We need somebody that is quite intelligent. We need somebody that has vision. We need somebody that is cool-headed. We need somebody that has the interest of the state in mind. And I'm very sure that quality is in the PDP, leading PDP gubernatorial candidate. The people of Lagos are looking for Jimmy Agbaje as the governor of the state.
Some of the decampees, however, have this to say on what informed the decision to leave the APC.
I received APC party as a party that imposed candidates on individual. Our mission to join this PDP, we find out that PDP is a party that we can call democracy. This is a party that will allow anybody to come out. When you come out, you can contest. If you are popular from your constituency, from your ward, you will eventually emerge.
The hope of PDP is brighter. If you see what is going on now, talk of PDP about some years back, you will see it. But let me tell you, go to the APC where they call themselves. You can see there are a lot of crack within themselves. What does it call crack in politics? It is when there is a dictatorship. They don't want members to speak their friend, their mind.
To this gathering, change is right only if Nigerians made the right choice. Anita Fatunji, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Details of results declared so far from Saturday's local government elections in Delta State showed that the ruling People's Democratic Party has won the 15 out of the 16 chairmanship seats declared so far. The results for Ethiopia East chairmanship seat was declared inconclusive, and rerun elections will be conducted in some polling units before a winner will emerge. The Labour Party's candidate and the PDP candidate were running neck to neck, with the results upheld in Ethiopia East, where Great Ogboru, Labour Party's chieftain, holds sway. The winners in Ethiopia West Local Council, former Governor James Ibori's home, and Patani were returned unopposed. In the councillorship results declared, 96 candidates were returned unopposed. It is still CoreTV Prime Time News. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes, and bleeding from the eyes, ears, and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water, or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces, or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees, or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Welcome back. It's CoreTV Prime Time News. A reminder of our top stories. President Islam Amechi over comments on Jonathan and wife. Basanjo calls for caution on all Muslim or Christian ticket for 2015 general elections. Lagos Speaker Ikufariji declares governorship aspiration. Do not forget that you can also catch us live on our social media platform. At Facebook is at www.facebook.com/CoreTV News. Twitter at CoreTV News NG. And on YouTube at CoreTV News, www.youtube.com/CoreTV News /news. As the 2015 elections draws near, the insecurity in the country has been a major issue, raising many questions yet to be answered. Due to the recent ceasefire violation by the Boko Haram, Nigerians are of the view that military are not sincere with statements made. A security expert, Richard Amuwa, on our flagship program Core Digest says the solution to tackling insecurity in the country is to create state police.
It's only a politician that's not read that will tell you we don't need state police at this point of our country. It is because we are practicing democracy that is upside down. You see, I've traveled a lot. I've been to UK, I've been to America, I've been to different states in America. America has to the point they have what we call county police. County means a local government police. A state police, and FBI. It is when it's very difficult for the local government, the state take over. If it's difficult for the state, then they call in the FBI before all this homeland and other stuff. You see, in Nigeria, I've heard a whole lot of debates that the governor is going to abuse it. This is going to abuse it. Yeah, they will abuse it because we have a situation where the government comes to power, it brings all these men in National House of Assembly. They could not question the governor. So, but in a state where, for example, okay, we even have a federal police right now. Are they professional? If you're a professional and you know your job, Mr. President cannot push you around because you're a professional. But today, our security have been politicized. So that's why it's very difficult for us to have state policing. With the state we have in Nigeria today, there's no way you can train me. For example, I've been living in Lagos all my life, and I joined police. You take me to Adamawa. I can't speak their language. I don't understand their culture.
Since the Nigerian authorities announced a ceasefire agreement with Boko Haram, there has been instances of attacks on some villages in the northeast. Expectedly, many people had been wondering whether the government was talking to the real leadership of the group. But there are others who are hailing the initiative. But many residents of Abuja would prefer to wait for the release of the abducted Chibok girls before they are convinced about the possibility of a ceasefire agreement.
The fragile trust was brokered in Chad at the instance of several African leaders, especially the Chadian president, Idris Deby. But news of the agreement has continued to draw diverse reactions from Nigerians. Some residents of the FCT who spoke with CoreTV says the line told by government is a good one.
Yes, the ceasefire agreement between government and Boko Haram is a welcome development. Welcome development in the sense that ceasefire will ultimately lead to peace and tranquility in this country. And this is exactly what we desire. Nigeria has always been a peaceful country, only that certain elements decided to introduce this. People who had vowed to make this government ungovernable. So this ceasefire is a welcome development.
Ideally, we are happy if there is ceasefire, because ceasefire is what will make Nigeria to move forward. Mr. President has decided to embark on a transformation agenda that will reposition Nigeria and take it from the quagmire in which it was before. And if anybody does not embrace this anticipated progress or transformation, that person is seen as an enemy of this country.
A few others frowned at the development, saying it may make Nigerians and security operatives become complacent. They easily point at the cases of insurgent attack since the government announced the ceasefire.
I don't think they ceased. They just went some break and they went some space to master their plans or to set on another plan. They did not cease entirely. If not, why would we have another bombshell in Zibauchi? So they are just giving a ground to see the reaction of the people and the reaction of the government. And if they will see that the government are not by their side, they continue what they do.
I think I feel Nigerian government, the Mr. President led transformation agenda, didn't get this right, because it's as if Boko Haram is an entity. We don't see them as anything. Federal government is the sole, ownership of our security, both the environment. So whatever it is, there is no point. Nigerian federal government, the sovereign nation like Nigeria, going into ceasefire with agreement with Boko Haram that is faceless.
This man also advised governments to ensure that right people are at the round table.
They have not done enough, like going to the grassroots of the sect, the Boko Haram sect, because the government might have been dialoguing with some people who want to use that avenue to make some gain on their own personal personal selfishness. Probably these are the people that government are dialoguing with, and they might deceive the government by telling the government that yes, we are the intermediary between the government and the Boko Haram.
Indeed, relative calm has returned to the northeast, but while many Nigerians pray that peace returns to stay, others would rather prefer to watch and wait.
The senator who sponsored the recently passed border protection bill says the plight of communities living on Nigeria's border with other countries motivated him to rally support for its passage. Senator Oluremi Lanleyi told journalists in Abuja that the bill would ensure that the border communities have better amenities than what is presently on ground. He also does not envisage that the bill would suffer a setback at the House of Representatives.
As it pertains to nearly all the communities that abuts our borders, and it boggles the mind. It's very disheartening to note that if you compare the Nigerian community or Nigerian village or hamlet or town on the border to the town immediately on the other side of the border, the difference is very clear. You discover that those other countries with which we share borders take much better care of their towns and hamlets and villages than we do. I felt we're killing two birds with a stone. First one, we take care of these cities or these communities normally, and that is a fundamental constitutional requirement from government.
The Muslim community in Osun State has called on government at all levels to work hard to unite all Nigerians and be committed to nation building if the numerous challenges facing the country is to be surmounted. Speaking at a forum welcoming the new Islamic year of 1836, Muslim community says the new Hijrah year heralds a new beginning for all Muslims, urging all Nigerians to be peaceful. Vice President of the community, Mustafa Olawiyi, also urged the federal government to do all within its powers to bring peace to the country and end the Boko Haram insurgency.
People of this great state of Osun to allow peace and harmony that prevailed during the last global election to continue on in that. Please. We also appeal to all, especially our political class, to stop sponsoring terrorism that brings no good for anyone. Terrorism has no religion. It's only when you want to disparage somebody, you now attack whatever he does to religion. The sponsors only know what they gain in mass destruction of life and properties of innocent citizens and creating an atmosphere of fear and hatred. Boko Haram has nothing to do with Islam, and it must be defeated and sponsors brought to book.
Olawiyi called on politicians and the Independent Electoral Commission to ensure that people's votes count in 2015, while also praying for the continuing peaceful coexistence of Nigeria.
The sponsors, we don't know them, and you know them better. Recently, when the president of the nation says that in October, we are going to put an end to Boko Haram, it's happening, or is it not happening now? And then he took Bunu Serif to Chad. They were there for 3 days. Who are the supplier of arms and ammunition to them and food? I think, how could a nation that says it has no hand, this particular group is faceless somehow? When they are faceless and you are saying the same thing, you see, it's not good to talk with two edges of the mouth at the same time. We are now gradually seeing the end of Boko Haram. If the government wants us to see it, they're going to see it. There's nothing like Boko Haram. It was a name fashioned out, one, to disparage Islam because of politics somehow. You know better than myself.
The Joy Youth Council Worldwide has charged a Kaduna-based Islamic cleric, Ahmed Gumi, to stop inciting Muslims against the Christians in the country. The council, while reacting to an open letter written by the cleric to President Goodluck Jonathan, urging him not to contest the 2015 general elections, says the cleric's charges were baseless and unfounded. IYC, speaking through its spokesperson, Eric Omare, says Gumi's letter was deliberately written to prepare the ground for a massive attack on Christians in the northern part of Nigeria in the event that President Jonathan wins the 2015 presidential election. It says the memories of the killing of thousands of innocent northern Christians and Southerners in the aftermath of the 2011 presidential election were still very fresh in the minds of Nigerians. The IYC also called on relevant security agencies to investigate Gumi's letter and bring him to justice. It's CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take another break and be back with business and sports. Stay with us.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes and bleeding from the eyes, ears and nose. especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water, or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces, or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees, or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
And now to business. Experts have lamented the unfriendly business environment in Nigeria, which has grossly affected the amount of FDI in the country. This assertion was made by Kramer at the CIBN meeting. According to him, Nigeria is a country that will witness more foreign investors that will complement the local market if the conditions are right.
Will be largely determined by the way we plan and the way we implement for the long term. Foreign investors do not read the news and believe it. They read plans, and when they're implemented, they then believe it. You must realize we do not have the local capital to do all the development that we would like to have. The specific rules of the game, which we follow in practice, can attract, as far as I'm concerned, all the foreign direct investment we want if we do it right.
On the other hand, with Nigeria's rich natural resources, we are not sufficient to attract enough inflows for FDIS. The Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Ben Akabweze, calls on the government to create assets of policies such as the Petroleum Industry Bill that will aid business environment.
When you compare us to the rest of Africa, we may be looking good. But how about when you situate us in the context of the global flows? We're still seeing an insignificant flow here, and it need not be so. What is required is right sets of policies, but beyond policies, the right actions. What is needed to be done? We need, the political will to do the right things. We need, to build consensus behind the action. The reform agenda in certain key sectors need to be driven. And so, we've struggled with, passing, the petroleum industry bill. We need to eliminate that uncertainty. We need to, as a matter of policy, move from being an exporter of simply crude petroleum to a major, exporter of refined petroleum products.
As part of efforts aimed at providing modern and befitting accommodation for residents of the state, the Osun State government has flagged off the construction of a new town within the state's capital. Tagged Oromiyan New Town, it is also to accommodate the proposed new Osun State Government House. Rashid has more in this report.
The Oromiyan New Town is located within the new secretariat in Abere, covering over 1,200 hectares of land. The new town straddles part of Oshogbo and Ede. It is made up of 7 neighborhoods with over 3,000 residential plots. Flagging off the new town, Osun State Governor Arun Farebeshala says the proposed new town is part of the 6-point integral action plan of his administration.
In a similar vein, and in keeping with our 6-point integral action plan, the development of Oromiyan New Town is a continuation of the fulfillment of our promise to ensure and promote healthy living, in a decent environment for our people. Consequently, development of the new town will be in line with our overall urban renewal program, in which 9 of our cities, including Osogbo, as the capital, are being redeveloped to meet the requirement of well-structured, carefully controlled urban groups.
He disclosed that the residencies of the officials of the 3 arms of the government will be sited within the new town.
Development of the remaining portion of the GRA, measuring about 1,200 hectares, is what we are officially launching today. With this, the GRA is available for application from interested members of the public. I understand that this decision was taken in order to fulfill the physical development requirement of the new state and its capital.
Aregbesola said certificates of occupancy will be available within 30 days to every individual that buys plots of land in the new town, but with a warning that such plots must be fully developed within a year. He also warned against the distortion of the new town's master plan.
In this town, all arms of government, the residence of the governor will be here, residence of the chief judge will be here, residence of the speaker will be here. So all the 3 arms of government will be represented here. So whoever wants to be near government should quickly come and obtain form to buy their own plot. And I can assure you, you will get your CFO within 30 days of the application for the land you purchase there. 30 days, you get your CFO.
Aregbesola, however, warned the opposition not to create any political stand because of the name of the new town, as his political group, Oromia, has no link with it. When completed, Oromia New Town is expected to be home to an estimated population of over 80,000 people with adequate facilities. Rashid, CoreTV News, Osogbo.
The outline of what we are going to have in this town, Oromia town,
and from business, we bring you sports. Robin van Persie's stoppage time strike earned Manchester United a point in a pulsating encounter with Chelsea that ends with 1-1 draw. The league leaders dropped points for just the 2nd time this term when the Dutchman rammed in after Marwan Fellaini's header was saved by Chelsea goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois. Didier Drogba's header had given Jose Mourinho's men the lead, but Branislav Ivanovic was sent off late on. Chelsea are now 4 points clear of second-placed Southampton. And now to story outside Nigeria. The United Kingdom has ended its combat operation in Afghanistan with the handing over of its last base in the country to the control of Afghanistan security forces. The Union flag was lowered at the base known as Camp Bastion, while the United States also handed over the control of its adjoining base known as Camp Leatherneck. Speaking on the handing over, British Defence Secretary Michael Fallon says much has been achieved since British troops arrived in Afghanistan in 2001, in spite of the mistakes that have been made with the death toll from the campaign for troops standing at 453. It says the UK is proud to announce the end of combat operations in the country with the handing over of Camp Bastion in Helmand province, which had been the main base of UK troops since 2006. Fallon says the sacrifice made by British forces has laid the foundation for a stable future for Afghanistan, whose forces will now take over for security control. He also said the Taliban has been defeated and that this has also ensured that no terror group will use Afghanistan as a launch pad for attacks. The United States also lost 2,349 troops during the campaign, which has also now ended. And just before we go, let's bring you a recap of our top stories. President slams Amici over comments on Jonathan and wife. Obasanjo calls for caution on all Muslim and Christian ticket for 2015 presidential elections. Lagos Speaker Ikuforiji declares governorship aspiration. And that's been our show for tonight. On behalf of the entire news crew, I am Gift or Gete. Do have a wonderful good night.